All right, everybody, welcome to the Sunday show, the Super Sunday show. And, it's great. We got the first win yesterday. We'll be talking about that. Um, we, when Man City are watching us the last couple of seasons, Man City fans are hoping for us to slip up. And when you get to play first and you watch Man City play second, and you hope for Man City to slip up, and they did not slip up today. And then you feel a little bit of a small worry. This is the City that we're up against. But Gary, I want to believe City know what they're up against with Arsenal as well, and they were looking at us yesterday, and we didn't slip up.
Yep. Hello there,
You know?
Ray. I see Tony slipped in and slipped out real quick. Or Stan will be with us in a little bit. Everybody in the chat, hello. I see Alonso has joined us. He's the first one in, so welcome to the
Yep.
show.
Yep.
No, it is. It's the first game, so you want to see if you can get a jump on any of your biggest rivals. It doesn't look like we got to do that, but everybody got a win, so that was to be expected, right?
Yeah.
None of them looked. Look at the final scores. None of them were close. They may look close if you watch the matches, but you know what? At the end of the day, when you win by two, and I think everybody that we
Liverpool
that
2-0
concerns us. It
at
concerns
Ipswich.
us. Yeah, one by two.
City
So
2-0 at Ipswich. Aston Villa, if they're in with a shout this year, 2-1 at West Ham. So
yeah,
and I got a feeling as well, Gary, and we were talking about this in the lead up to the season starting, that a lot of teams are 65, 70%. They're not at full capacity yet. And that's because of, first of all, preseason, you're never there. Even if you didn't have a European Championships or a Copa America, you're never there physically in the first game. And the likes of Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Aston Villa, they have enough quality to get themselves through at 65, 70% capacity to win games. So that's what we kind of saw this weekend.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, that is true. That is
and
true.
many will say, Gary, that Arsenal should be beating Wolverhampton Wanderers pretty handily, and we did it in the end. But I think to nitpick performance, especially the first Premier League game of the season, is a little bit premature. And
No, it's not.
it is a little bit premature because you have to take the mitigating circumstances, Tony, that Arsenal were not 100. They're not 100% there on fitness, and you have players who had no European championships, like Odegaard and some other player, Ben White, who didn't participate in European championships, and then you have players like Declan Rice and Saka, who had to come off at the end of the game because they were just gassed. So that's the difference right now in our squad, and you're going to see them more balanced when we come to the third, fourth, and fifth games of this season, which are going to be important against Brighton, Tottenham, and Man City. So I don't know if you want to jump in, Gary, or the voice in the bottom left-hand corner jump in.
Yeah, no, I think I was hoping for, I was expecting, when I put my prediction out, I had I'll say it again because it sounds stupid when I say it now, but I had Arsenal winning 5-0, and if they were clicking, they probably could have won 5-0.
Yeah.
Probably may have won 3-1 easily too as well, because both teams had clear cut chances that they missed, that they so yeah, no, I think if you're thinking about it, it's the beginning of the season. Everybody's we haven't started our true 11, right? We knew what our best 11 was going to be going in, but we were not playing with our best. We knew what our best 11 at the time, but we don't know what our true best 11 is yet, because we might have some more. We might have another player or two to come in that might change that. So, so I think in that sense that everybody's playing maybe a little short, either in form or players just not being there. I mean, you saw it today. City, they didn't even have Rodri, right? One of the best players in the world on their, playing. So is that 2-0 win looks pretty big when you don't have your best player. If Saka's not playing for us and we win 2-0, you're saying, well, guess what? When they bring him back, things should look better. I mean, I don't think Chelsea threatened City as much as they should have, Rodri being there, but those are the things that you need to do. You need to take advantage of the teams early in the season if you can, but teams that you can take advantage of are usually that much better than you.
Yeah, Arsenal will.
That.
Arsenal do give chances.
Yeah.
We're not impregnable.
But I felt like City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, all gave teams had an opportunity, right? They all had opportunities to get a goal, and they couldn't finish for one reason or another. You need to take those chances when they come. All right, don't waste the trip. So
indeed,
yeah.
Happy Sunday for everybody out there, and celebrate that win yesterday. Arsenal win. This is my show, goddammit. So Stan knows. I don't know. Does Stan know? Can someone tell Zinni not to get in people's way? I think that's about Thomas Partey and other people. Zinchenko. As Gary referenced, we haven't yet been able to put out. It's just the first game, right? But we haven't put out our best side yet.
We never put out our best 11 because Arteta likes his favorite crayons.
Well, who's our best 11 right now?
Trossard's better than Martinelli. Jorginho and everybody else is better than Partey.
All right. And Calafiori's not up to speed yet. Calafiori's not up to speed yet.
Kiwior could have got in there instead of
Kiwior is not better than some of the players that played. Come on, stop that.
Yeah, so it was a good start.
Kiwior is not taking a spot in the game yesterday.
All right.
Kiwior is better than Zinchenko. Yes,
obviously not.
All right, Stan, what are your thoughts? Are you ready yet, Stan? You up to speed?
Well, speaking of being, hello everyone. Talking of being up to speed, if your first game of this season, you're not supposed to be quite up to speed. You don't have any momentum going for you. You still got players that are still trying to find fitness. You may have one or two injuries out. And if that's the case for Arsenal, then I think we should all be very pleased. Because if that's what they can do at that stage of the season, imagine what they're going to be able to do when they are, getting into more of a groove and they do have momentum and players are more match fit. So I think it's a good indicator. We've come away with all 3 points, a clean sheet. What's not to like? Yeah. First game of the season. It's a good 100%. Start in the right direction.
100%. And, David Raya, we talked about David Raya. And you got to give him some props because he had a really good save in the 35th minute from a header. Saliba had given away one of the few times you'll ever see Saliba giving the ball away in the 67th minute. And Raya came to the rescue there. And then right at the end on 93 minutes with Sarabia, I think it was, David Raya remonstrating with, I think it was Urian Timber who did something great and then did something bad. And there was a turnover there. So David Raya, he's not just sitting behind the best. He is sitting behind the best defense, but not just sitting behind the best defense in the Premier League. And it kind of strikes me, following on from the City game, the City might have the best attack, but we might have the best defense going into the season. And both things can be true, and both things can get us to a run in where we have 5 or 6 games to go with very little between the two teams. Anyone who thinks that City is just going to go away, we got another thing coming. They've got another thing
right. We should have the best defense for what we've spent. The fact that we brought in a center back.
That's what I just said.
Full back and goalkeeper.
No argument here. That's what I just said.
But I'm saying we've spent my money on it.
Yes.
We got to spend my money on the attack, which we haven't.
Right. And I hope that a forward can come in as well. Mikel Merino.
We spent my money on the midfield last year, and it wasn't any better than what Xhaka did the year before. doing attacking.
Ooh,
I
okay.
agree. I disagree with Stan because last year he wasn't dropping back. If he was dropping back, then Gabriel wanted to be on the island. Arteta stopped doing the cover. Everybody's pushing forward except for the center backs. Timber does good because he does what a fullback or a wing back, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He stops at the halfway line. He doesn't go past it. He's disciplined.
Well, you say that, but there was a couple of times
Go.
when he was in the box. He was in the box for his 20-minute cameo, combining
what
overlapping
Arteta-
Saka.
That's what Arteta asked him to do, which I
Hi,
disagree
gents.
with.
Steven said, hi, gents. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's enjoying the 3 points from yesterday. It was a good start, but there's still problems that were visible from last season. I just think our nerves fed into it a little bit in the second half. We had that 1-0 lead for quite a while, and until we got that second one, Stan, we weren't quite comfortable.
Well, as I mentioned, it is that first game of the season, and we're yet to find rhythm. Mm-hmm. So you can expect it to be a little bit stop-start, but we did what was required. We scored the goals and we didn't let any in.
Indeed. Last season, the same fixture last season was round 15, and that's when I thought Arsenal could go on and win the league. When we beat Wolves in early December last season, a 2-0 win as well. We won that game in 15 minutes. But I really do think we have the tools going forward. Looking at the substitute bench and starting to look a bit better, Gary. We had Ramsdale, because the bench is going to tell you the strength that you have in your team, right? Sitting on the bench, we had Ramsdale, Calafiori, Timber, Jorginho, Nwaneri, Trossard, Nelson, and Nketiah, and Jesus. And probably just the last three there, Nelson and Nketiah. Especially Nelson and Nketiah really should get their moves by the end of this window as well.
Yeah, the bench looks strong, and as you said, and we're still missing a couple of players. So it was good to see, and we got. You said Tomiyasu's out, so that's one player. Maybe Merino is in, and maybe another attacker is in. So we might, be.
So those two will eclipse Nelson and Nketiah.
Yeah, we might have somebody else might have to figure out what we're going to do with that if we bring in another player on top of Merino. So. Yeah, no, it's good to see what we've done there with the bench. Yeah, like I said, I would like more. Our defense was looking a little rusty, but they didn't really get much that we didn't give them. Right? I don't think they broke us down as much as we kind of faltered and gave them opportunities, which is, I think you're going to see that early in the season. Right. I think we'll talk about a lot of our players who played in Europe that looked a little rusty, played in Copa America. Right. So, so I think we're all right. We're definitely taking the 3 points. There is a lot to work on, which is good. And I say it all the time, right? We just need to get better one game at a time. Each time we can do a little bit better than the last one. And, we do that 38 times, we'll be all right.
Yeah. The obvious holes in the team that was put out there, Stan. Maybe Thomas Partey tired a little bit and gave the ball away a little bit in some areas. Zinchenko turned the ball over on a couple of occasions as well.
But they're not going to get better unless they get in the minutes, right? You can't just take them out and leave them because then they won't continue, they won't get any momentum. So
yeah,
I'm not too concerned, as I say. We did what we needed to do in the first day of the season. I don't have any complaints. I was pretty pleased to see as well that the manager, the way he managed Bukayo Saka by bringing him off. But I was a little disappointed to see that he didn't do the same for Declan Rice, because I think both Declan and Saka, they haven't had as much rest as everybody else. So I would have liked to have seen Declan Rice withdrawn once we were comfortable, and you could have put on a Jorginho.
Well, he did come off a little bit later.
That is not what he said, Ray. You know what he said. Yeah, he came off 5 minutes left in the game. That's not the same.
I know.
He needed to come off a lot sooner, like in the 70th minute, that time period, because he was definitely. I don't think he. as we said, none of these players are at their peak, and the two latest players to join probably didn't need to have played, a lot of minutes at all. All right, we do have depth now. Jorginho
Yes.
will come in.
Or any minutes.
Definitely, I do agree that Declan Rice could have been taken off earlier. We saw him pull up a little bit due to cramp. I think it might have been cramp he got, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were stretching him out before
Yeah.
he walked off.
This is I mean, this is why it's Arsenal fan circle. We're all going to see things a little bit differently. And Bargov said, "Hey, it was a terrible game. Much improvements necessary." But you have to take that into context, and that's what I've trying to be. That's what I've been saying for the last 10 minutes. Bargov is that the context is that you're never going to hit the season 100%. Everybody's not going to be 100%. Never in any season does that happen, especially now that we're asking players and the best players to play 11 and a half months out of the year in internationals as well. The other thing as well is that there was different parts of the squad were doing different things this summer as well. Some were playing games and some were not. So you're gonna definitely there's things to work on for next weekend when we play Aston Villa away from home, which will be a tricky game. We're definitely happy for 3 points as well. But it is interesting how our nerves play into how we see the game. And oftentimes when I watch the game back the second time around, knowing the result, and you're more calm, you can actually analyze the game in a different way as well. Problem one, whatever Arteta is telling them at halftime needs to stop. I've lost count of the number of times we've looked flat after halftime. The ball possession numbers totally flipped in the second half. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, they're kind of toothless up front and they don't score many goals, but they are a good technical team that can hold on to the ball. And like we saw with the Chelsea game today, as long as you're just a goal behind, you're always in the game, until that second goal comes. So how about Havertz as well? He's continued. He finished the season. We saw him finishing the season with the last goal scored for Arsenal. And he's turned up and scored the first goal of the season. Kai Havertz off to a great start. The stats are, I think it's something like 15 goals in 13 games that he's actually played up front. Whenever he's played in the number 9, he's been quite prolific for Arsenal. So what do we think of that, Stan?
Well, I mean, he's managing to keep as someone who's supposed to be a natural striker and Gabriel Jesus out of the team. So that tells you really all you need to know, right? He's now, Gabriel Jesus is now playing second fiddle to Kai Havertz. So long may it continue. If he can continue to be consistent with his goal tally and get us a goal every other game and every now and again a brace, I'm going to be fairly happy with that.
And it's where Tony, go ahead.
You really think Jesus is a number 9 and not a winger?
He's a number 9, but he's not as effective as Havertz as a number 9.
I don't think he's a number 9.
Havertz should be on top of the goal scorers list. He should be in the top 5 at least. Havertz should be. There's a few other candidates that will be ahead of him. But yeah, Havertz had himself a great game at number 9. I think thought he had a tidy game up front and got on the end of a cross from Bukayo Saka in the 20-some minute, Gary. 25th minute.
No, Havertz looked good, and he did some good things. He did some not so good things, So he did score. Mm-hmm. He should, he probably should have had a brace easily. He was put in a position to do that. He's part of, he's part of all the goals we scored yesterday. So, yeah, no, I think he's good where he is. I think he plays better in Arteta's system than Jesus does in terms of the production that he produces. Right, team's shown that. That's why I always thought that whatever striker we get, they're going to get a lot more opportunities. So I didn't really I don't think it mattered which ones we got. As long as we got a good one, because of the way we play, and he's taking, he's reaping the rewards of that. So yeah, no, I think he's doing good. Yeah, I've seen people say we need to get a striker, and you can see that in what would have been his brace. I mean, Martinelli makes a really nice pass to him into the box. He's got space and time to decide to put that ball anywhere he wants. He goes for the left corner and he hits it wrong, and it's off. And that's, for me, those are the types of opportunities that you at least have to put on target, and he doesn't even put them on target. So that's something in his game. I don't know if it's going to change. He's going to get a lot of opportunities as long as they're in front of the box. He's probably going to score. But those times when we need him to finish and be clinical with his striking, those are the times when you look at it and you go, oh, and then it's overshadowed because he does a lot of work. But those are the types. That's why a lot of people still say we need a striker, is because in those type of situations we need somebody who's more clinical than he is. I mean, I think Arsenal deserves it with the work that they do. They're not always going to win 2-0. Those 1-0 games and those 2-1 games or 1-1 game, those draws where you need to break it open.
Yeah,
you need somebody more clinical.
Yeah,
so.
And we saw when Saka came off, we saw possibly what could happen in the future is Martinelli down the right or Jesus down the right, and Trossard on the left. So we're seeing a little bit more of Martinelli at the end of last season on the right hand side, maybe through the middle at times. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a little bit more positional location or rotation within this team moving forward.
Yeah.
And depends
There
on what
has to
kind
be,
of
Ray.
depends on what kind of forward we get, though, Tony. Do we get a striker? Do we get a right winger? Do we get a player who can play anywhere across the front three? We need to be a little bit like Chelsea, like that. They've got over 50 players in their stadium. Some of those players had to go missing today.
We got to go find the most clinical player we can find.
Yeah.
That's what matters. 16 shots,
There's
6
one at
on
Newcastle.
target.
It costs money.
There's one in Newcastle.
It costs too much money, though. That's the thing, right? For what you want there, it costs money. And we do have a number of players in our team who aren't clinical enough, who do a lot of other good stuff, but they miss a lot of chances. Martinelli is one, I think.
Jesus
is another one. You could also say the same about Havertz as well, with the chances that he does miss. Eddie Nketiah. So we have a lot of players that they've got a lot of pace about them. They've got a lot of technical ability. But when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net, they seem to, all of those players, squander more than they actually score. And you think if you could just somehow tidy that up a bit, where we would be. And I'm beginning to worry a little bit about Martinelli, because even though, one of the comments previously was saying how he's not getting a lot of players offering themselves to him, like, Saka gets on the right.
Yeah.
But when he does get the ball, there are opportunities where he does get the ball. His decision-making seems to have taken a dip. And I hate to say it, but it's starting to look a little bit Gervinho for me.
It's getting that way.
There's a lot of pace, a lot of drive with the ball, but then when he needs to do something, whether it's a cut back or a pass to someone or a shot, invariably he's making the wrong decisions. And it's a shame to see that, because I have high hopes for Martinelli. He's a player that I really like.
Yeah. He loves Arsenal. He's a great kid. He's got great speed, probably the fastest in the team, in the squad. But that speed needs to come with vision as well. And he needs to stop. There was a sequence of play where Declan Rice played him in on the left-hand side pretty early in the game, before the first goal, I think it was. And Martinelli checked back in, and Rice was up again, ready to receive the ball. And he got a bit of a bollocking from Rice when he took the shot himself. So Martinelli needs to add that to his game a little bit. I think Mikel Arteta has always given him the benefit of that whenever fit, that he picks him invariably over Trossard. And I'm fine with that if he backs it up with performances and assists and goals as well. The idea of competition and squad is that.
But he's not
better.
doing that, right?
That's what I mean.
We've seen that Trossard works better. Fucking leave him out there.
Trossard and Martinelli offer two different types of skills. We need both in one player, right? That's the problem.
You want the guy that scores
You want a
more
clinical
goals,
striker
that's
like
amazing.
Trossard, and
It's
you
not
want
possible,
a player,
though.
and you want to play with the pace, right? That's what we need.
Got to
That's
pick
what we
one or
should
the
be
other
doing,
right now.
right? Now,
Well, you
you know
gotta
what?
pick one or the other.
When you called out Martinelli for taking that shot when he could have passed it to Rice, it's not like Rice is a better striker than him.
He was in a better position.
Don't
At that point in time, he goes
Right.
near post, it gets deflected out. It wasn't as if he missed the target.
Right.
He was closed down. He didn't have the
Don't-
He
shot.
got
don't
deflected
tell-
out. It wasn't that he got closed down. He got the shot off.
You
And
don't
what
talk
happened?
about-
Where did
Yeah.
the shot go? It went wide.
You saw
don't
Rice
talk
the shot
about
when he took it
Gary's
early in the
baby.
game. Did anybody block it? No, it just went. He sailed out.
But
Just
that's
because
where you
he
need
just- just 'cause
composure,
he passes
Gary.
to Rice doesn't mean that was the better choice in the matter in terms of which one gives me the better odds to score.
He was in a better position. It was the better
I
choice.
think
It
a
was
lot of
the
people
right
said
choice.
that Martinelli's striking is pretty good, right?
His striking. I mean, listen. I'm all. If the player scores, if the player's greedy and scores, you can't complain.
No.
But if he misses a chance, then you can complain. You know what I mean? And we're looking at a game where we had I don't want to be Tony here, but an 18 shots, 6 on target, and 2 goals. We won in the end 2-0 against
He took one
Wolverhampton.
shot. He took one shot, and that's what
Martinelli.
you're complaining about it. Yeah, in the game,
Right.
he took one shot
So
in 70 and 90 minutes.
in a
And
way,
that's the one you're
in a way,
complaining about. So
in a way,
for
you
me,
want
I
him to be
don't
greedy.
think that's a bad decision to take that shot in that particular point. You know what I mean?
I
It's
know
one of
Tony.
those, isn't it, where if he takes the shot and he gets it in, then Declan Rice is running over and hugging him.
Yeah.
If he takes that shot and he doesn't, and he fucks it up, and Declan Rice is open, he's going to complain, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And
One of
if Tony was Martinelli in that situation and Gary is Declan Rice in that situation, you better know that Gary's shouting at Tony for not passing him the ball.
You know what? You should be wanting the ball. It doesn't mean it was the wrong choice. That's the thing we have to understand. All right? That's why we put those players in those positions to make that decision. Yes, his decision making sometimes is bad when he should pass. That's what I think is more the case, is when he should be passing it. I think that was a decent shot. So a lot of times he'll just dribble his way out into trouble and we lose the opportunity altogether. Yeah. He
But
doesn't, and he didn't do that in that situation. He does it a lot, more consistent than he should. It should be more consistent that he does the right play. But that in that particular point, not that one. You can pick on a lot of the other parts of this game, but not the one shot he took in the game.
All right. I mean,
don't talk about Gary's baby.
I like trust. I like,
Gary's crayon.
you know what? This is the same thing we have with our goalkeepers. They both offer us totally different, some skills that the other one doesn't. All right.
Who's the better attacker? You go by a guy that's
Better
scores you the
attacker
goals.
Stats.
is
Who's going to give
Martinelli
you the
in
better
terms of running
stats at
a
the end of the
defense,
day?
right? The
Trossard
one
at
that's
the
going to put
moment.
it in the goal is Trossard, but they're not. I think they don't offer the same things. Like
No,
we
they
don't
don't.
need another. We
No.
don't need another Saka on the left side, right?
Exactly.
Gary, that's like saying
Exactly.
Kevin De Bruyne and
exactly
Foden
right.
don't give you the same things either.
He
Huh?
likes Martinelli because he hugs that line and goes further up the line rather than, as Gary said, doing a Saka on the other side. We have two inverted wingers. He's got one that's playing a traditional winger style, taking on players and keeping to that sideline.
Yeah.
Trossard don't do that.
No.
Not as
And
effectively.
look,
Not as effectively.
two different players are going to give you two different outcomes and two different looks. That's what we have in the squad right now. Martinelli, he may well start on Saturday because he offers pace. That's something we might need against Aston Villa at Villa Park next weekend. So
Who should have started yesterday? Right.
who should have started yesterday? I would have went with Trossard because you remember the run in last season? Trossard was turning up with vital goals.
Well, we've seen what happened. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, Trossard doesn't score enough or do enough when he's given a chance." But when he's given 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row,
He does.
he's scoring
Yeah.
every other game or
Yeah.
game and a half.
So let's go through what Steven says here. The left side is still broken. Martinelli is still not getting the support that Saka gets from Odegaard and White. At times, Rice and Zinchenko are nowhere to be seen when he has the ball. I think, my personal opinion, there's some onus here for Declan Rice to actually work with Martinelli more.
But also, if you're Martinelli, you're looking behind you every week and saying, right, who have I got behind me this week? Who's it going to be? There's no, there's no partnership like White and Saka have. It's basically a fucking lottery.
Yeah. Now, the two players that we signed this summer, we're about to sign Merino. Maybe him and Calafiori will forge that relationship with Martinelli, but it's going to take probably a dozen games for them to get that understanding. You know what I mean?
But you got a player on your fucking bench, right? That did perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Played 3/4 of a season. Kivior can do the job. Put him in there.
You can't do the job that we want at that left back. You can. Maybe defensively he can, but offensively moving forward, I don't think that's where he, where his positives are, and that's what Arteta doesn't just ask. Arteta doesn't just ask the player to do the one thing right. They have to be able to do They got to be able to do two things right, both on the offensive and defensive side. Right,
Gary.
That's why we don't like Zinchenko, because Zinchenko can possibly do the stuff for fine on the offensive side, defensively not.
Every single one of our fullbacks, minus Zinchenko, can play a center back. So if you want attacking on the wings, play your three center backs and play the fucking wing back.
No.
That's not how we play, Tony. So try again.
Who's playing wing back now then, Tony? You're going to have Saka and Martinelli playing as wing backs. Is that what you're doing? Or are you just dropping them? What's going on there? Who's playing wing back?
You know who's playing.
Who?
You know who's I end up playing if you're playing.
No, yeah, just
in your system,
we
I'm interested to know who you're playing at the wing backs. Who in your system with three at the back with wing backs? Who are you picking there?
You're playing Zinchenko because that's what he's good at doing.
Okay, and on the right side, White.
Yeah, White's so that he can go forward. He hasn't been bad at it.
Still, it's not a system we employ, so you're not going to see.
We employed it. We employed it during our most important game last.
One time. Okay. Their midfield wasn't going to allow Martinelli to break out. Still got a good chance. They defended really well. Here's Steven said, you cannot say who the better scorer is between Martinelli and Trossard. Here's the thing, though. Martinelli was injured for the majority of last season, so his numbers were impaired. 2 seasons ago, Martinelli had 15 Premier League goals. Last season, we played a much different style for the first 20 games with slow ball progression. But you can go on what you saw from last season, which was Trossard being the second most productive player in the squad.
And we've seen it the season before.
Yeah, and I think when he plays with Martinelli and they're in the same team, Trossard becomes the guy who's providing the assists.
But what you need to do, no matter who you start there on the left, they need to play 60 minutes. Then you throw on the other guy, which I would throw on Martinelli because he's got the speed.
Yeah,
do through balls, let him run towards it. You got the defense.
I think you will see that, Tony. You will see Martinelli and Trossard sharing minutes. I think just accommodating Saka and Rice, taking them off to save them from their exploits in the summer. They're being phased in slowly, so you're going to see something.
Neither one of them needed to start, right?
Hopefully, Edu has had enough of his vacation and will get on the final.
You could have started Jorginho for this game. You could have had Jesus on the right. So.
Could have. But, we have a very difficult start to the season. The Wolves game notwithstanding.
That's what I'm saying. This game, you could have did that, right?
No,
Ray?
but you
No.
but
You
you
would
need
have
all
got
your
better
players
results.
playing.
No,
The
Tony,
first
you
5
need
games, our
Yeah.
3 away games are what? Villa, that
Tottenham.
team, and City.
Yeah.
No, we're not. You know what? We're not playing.
be
We're not
ready.
giving people minutes right now. Maybe in the 6th game we'll give people minutes, but for these first 5, it's got to be our best players, not our
Exactly.
best 11 at this point, but our best players. Because
Yeah.
And
guess
they
what?
got to get
They-
the minutes.
Yeah, they
Right?
need to gel as soon
Yeah.
as possible, right?
Now,
they
I
need to
bet
gel.
you this coming week, Gary, Stan, and Tony, I bet you this coming week that the training regime for Rice and Saka will be slightly different to the rest of the team because they will have to recover. They'll need another day or so to recover from those who've had a pretty decent preseason, you know? So this is what's going to happen to be ready for Aston Villa next Saturday, you know? Because you need Rice and you need Saka in the game next weekend. You need them against Tottenham. You need them at the Etihad. Stan?
And also with that fixture, you know, if you're the manager, if I'm the manager, I'm checking back to the previous season to see how we got on in that fixture. And obviously, we need to put that one right. You know, that was a bump in the road. So you need to make sure that you can, show everybody that it isn't a regular thing with that team and that particular fixture. You got to put that to rest.
Yeah. You have some YouTubers out there who have made compilations about how Unai Emery set traps for Mikel Arteta. And so
And
the
rightly so. Of
manager-
course he's going to. That's his job to do that, right?
Yeah.
So it's up to Mikel to look at past traps and find out how he can tiptoe his way through the forest without hitting another bear trap that's been laid out
Yeah,
for
but
him.
he
or an
he
Emery
hasn't figured
trap.
it. He hasn't figured it out yet because 3 of the 4 games we've lost.
And that's what we need to put right, Tony.
Yeah,
what we need.
And then
That's
you
what we're
go
talking
back
about.
then you go back to when we were in Europa. He beat us in our Europa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
we got
we've got
we
it
got
to
to
rest.
figure
We've
out
got
how
to-
to play against him.
Yeah, if we beat them, that
hard.
shuts that down. All that stuff on Twitter about there's a curse and Unai Emery's the one that can get. If we beat them, that shuts that shit down, right? That's gone now. Next, what's the next thing? That's what we
Yeah,
need
well,
to
you-
do, right?
Yeah,
Shut that down.
if Arteta is overthinking it again, if he decides, guess what? All right, we're playing Villa on the road. Guess who's going to go to midfield, right?
Yeah, you know he's overthinking it if he goes right. Let's go with 3 at the back and we'll bring in wing backs.
Wing
I
backs.
heard it on the podcast on Sunday. Sounded like a good idea.
Yeah. No, but that's on Arteta.
Never know he's really watching.
Thinking these things. We need to play. We need to play our foot. I don't think there's a team out there that we're going to play in England that we have to change our lineup in terms of where people play. There's no reason against any team that we have to say, you know what, it's best that we put Havertz in the midfield because we want to put Jesus up top. I don't think I don't think that's ever an answer going forward.
Yeah.
Based on what you're just hurting your team. All right.
Indeed. Welcome to the show, Lawrence. How are you?
Yeah, morning everyone. Sorry for the late arrival.
All right, you're docked 2 weeks' wages, and you won't be a part of the squad for next week. It's okay.
I heard, Ray, that Ed Sheeran is not too happy with you, and he's 69 you from his concert.
What did I do to Ed Sheeran now?
Well,
your team beat his team. Come on.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So what did you think of the game yesterday, Lawrence? Your thoughts?
Very workmanlike. You know,
Sure.
we were brilliant for 25 minutes.
Yep.
And we took the lead, and I don't know what happened then because it was the same old Arsenal taking the foot off the gas pedal, not taking our chances, and giving the ball away too easily to Wolves. The save Raya made from
The header.
the striker in the first half was unbelievable. I mean, you know how big a Aaron Ramsdale fan I am, but that save Raya did kept us in the game. And I don't know why it is we struggle against these mid-table, bottom of the table teams, because I was literally bricking it in the second half. I thought Partey was poor. Saliba and Gabriel were poor with their distribution as well at the back. And it wasn't until it wasn't until when Arteta took off Zinchenko and put on Timber that we looked solid again.
Yep.
And we capped it off with a fine goal by Saka.
Yep.
But
talk about that goal.
I think yes, they showed why we need an out-and-out striker, because with all due respect to Havertz, he's not a number 9. I know he took the goal well, but this is why we need someone who can get 25 goals a season, because we were very wasteful with some of the chances we had.
Yeah, look, that's where if you feel everybody's got different emotions with Arsenal. If you feel these things are going to happen, you feel the worst thing's going to happen, then obviously there was a couple of situations where I was like, Saliba gave the ball away right on the edge of the goal, and David Raya needs to make that save. Partey gave the ball; he was kind of loose in midfield in the second half. Thomas Partey.
He looked so rusty. I've never seen him play as poor a game as he did yesterday. And I've also got to. So I've also got to give a big up to Raya as well for the save from the volley near the end as well.
Yep, the 93rd minute. Sarabia.
Yeah.
We were never. Russ said we were never out of second gear, and that's
great. Then it's great, then, isn't it? If we can win in second gear, imagine what it's going to be like when we finally get a bit of momentum and we start shifting through them gears, man.
Have we got 6 gears or 5 gears? Just so I know.
How many do you want?
We've got 25 gears.
We better have 37 gears. We need to go up at 1 gear a game, all right?
Yesterday we were driving an automatic. We haven't got a stick shift. Yesterday was just cruising around an automatic.
Indeed.
Gas pedal and brake.
Yeah, but they make these automatics. It used to be 4 or 5. It used to be 4 or 5 gears an automatic.
115 gears. That's the blue model over there, and we want to take those blue ribbons. I'm tired of looking at blue ribbons.
Now you can get a 9 or 10 speed automatic.
Yeah.
But
and
you should be hopeful, right? Because
and you can shift the gears with a steering wheel.
Your paddle. Yeah, your steering paddle.
If you think that we played really badly, then that's a good thing, because that was on the first day of the season when you're not going to be at your peak yet.
Yeah.
And when you look back 3 years from now and you look back through the scores and you get to yesterday's game, it's not going to go Arsenal 2, Wolves 0, and then in the bracket, but Partey was really slow, was really poor. Saliba gave the ball away.
Zinchenko gave the ball away.
It doesn't say that.
Zinchenko played.
We've done everything that we needed to do, and we didn't get out of second gear. That's a good thing, because we know, we've seen that we've got more to come. We know that wasn't we're not at our best. So
and that's what
it get better. Brilliant.
People like Gunnar Ross.
It'd be worse if we lost 2-0. We're going, we never got out of second gear. We were we weren't ready for the season. We're not ready yet, but we still got 3 points. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Gunnar Russ, thanks for joining us. If you rewind back, we've been saying the same thing. We're not yet match sharp fit, not match fit yet. And no team, I would say no team in the Premier League is match fit yet. Maybe Brighton, maybe. They were pretty good with Danny Welbeck yesterday, But yeah, listen, 115 gears, maybe not 115 gears. That lot over there have more gears than we do. We want to take the blue off that trophy and make them red ribbons by May. Let's turn the blue into red, Okay, Stephen, Stan, does that mean Ramsdale will start against Tottenham, Chelsea and City, because Raya was utter shite in those games? Raya made at least 7 errors in those matches in the first time round.
Well,
I think we're behind Raya, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's the Golden Glove goalkeeper from last season. I mean, why would you drop him? And as we said, he pulled out some very good saves, reaction saves as well, which are the hardest ones in yesterday's game. So, why would I want to put in a rusty Ramsdale who's probably got his head looking for pastures new, which he should be, right? He needs to be somewhere where he should be a starting player.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem in this part of the season where the window's still open. You have a couple of players, Arsenal players as well, who are probably looking for the exit door. Eddie Nketiah needs to find a club. He probably ends up at a Premier League club somewhere, maybe one of the promoted teams. Maybe a team that's going to be beaten pretty handily this weekend. They'll realize they need a striker and they have the Premier League money to spend on him. Same thing with Reece Nelson. Ramsdale, I don't know what's going to happen with Ramsdale. You would think maybe it's going to be a loan with an obligation upcoming.
Yeah. Just sell the fucking player, Ray.
Talk to Eddie.
That's what we
You
have
can't
to do.
sell somebody who nobody wants.
One needs a buyer.
Sell him.
It's a really difficult thing to do.
I'm so tired of us loaning out these fucking players.
Tony's
year after
speaking for the
year.
people.
Just take him down to a car boot now on Sunday.
That's
we
why-
don't get any fucking money.
I'll get Del Boy right on it.
And
Can I just-
instead you
You
waste
deserve.
45 fucking million on a left back that you didn't need. You didn't need a left back. You bought one every year.
I'd love to get Tony involved with the club and make things happen.
Right,
You know,
right.
yeah.
Can I just say something, right? I watched Aston Villa against West Ham yesterday.
Yep.
And if we play like we did yesterday against Villa, they're going to rip us a new one because they absolutely tore West Ham to bits in that first half.
I think when you're a good team and you know the team you're coming up against, Gary's not going to like me to say this, but you put the required effort in to win comfortably, and the team will know on Saturday we've got a different challenge with Aston Villa going to their place.
New players.
What's that?
I just said it's a very different team as well because there's a lot of new players, right?
Yeah.
That we don't know very much about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of you actually, Lawrence, when Onana did score that first goal, and just looking at all those 7 signings that Aston Villa did get in. I expected to see you on the sideline there.
Yeah,
with your Aston Villa shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah. So sitting next to Unai.
Aston Villa star nailed to your headboard.
Yeah.
AVFC.
Yeah.
No, but all serious.
Well, why is there a bed next to Emery? Oh, it's boring.
When Lawrence
Gunnar
goes
Russ
to games,
says
they have a family enclosure and then there's a bed enclosure as well.
Gunnar Russ says, in my humble opinion, we cannot win the league without buying a top striker. The problem is they are like rocking horses. Shit at the moment. I think there's not many out there. I think that's what that means, right? Like rocking horses.
Money.
Yeah, and can we win the league? Gary, we'll go around the house here. Gary, can we win the league with the forwards that we have right now?
No, we need more. We need more odds in our favor. So I think here's the thing: we can if everything is perfect, right? And is everything usually perfect in a season? No. So that's why we need at least another one player to come in, because nothing goes the way you want. People don't last the entire season, right?
Yeah.
We can't have situations. We can't have passengers, right? We can't have an Nketiah, a Ramsdale, and an Emile Smith-Rowe sitting in your squad, and you don't want to use them.
Nelson.
Yeah. Those are 3 players on our attacking side that we did not want to use. We can't have that anymore.
Yeah.
We need no more passengers. Everybody has to contribute. All right. And that means Arteta has to want them to be part of the squad and be in the games in certain parts. So no, we're still short on the attack. I mean, if you think about it, we lost Emile Smith-Rowe. We didn't bring in a replacement for him. All right. If Nketiah and Nelson are also right now not even surplus to whatever that phrase is. They're
Requirements.
just the requirements. No, no, they're just not part. They're not part of Arteta's plan. All right. So we need essentially, unless Moreno's going to replace it, or Rice replaces, what Middlesbrough Rowe has left us. All right. We're still three.
Yeah.
We might be 3 attackers down right now.
Yeah.
That he's not going to be able to replace in this one window, most likely. So yeah, we're short, and everybody else has to be perfect. We have to hope that once again Martinelli returns to form.
Reignites,
We have to hope that Jesus is healthy and does something he doesn't usually do, which is strike the ball with some efficiency. Right?
True.
Saka has to continue to improve because he needs to make up the difference. All right. Trossard, once again, is another year older. This is 2 years older from where he started. He's given us double digits in either goals and assists. And this year, it sounds like he might need to do both. All right. Because I think we need all the odds in our favor. The only way that's going to happen is if we're near perfect on the attacking side. And that's why, I figured, 5 goals yesterday is where we want to be and what I thought we can do. I think we had an opportunity to score 5 goals, but some of the chances were lost before they even happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we definitely need at least another striker. We need, and everybody's like, well, they're not better than Nketiah. Well, he doesn't play Nketiah.
Yeah.
So I want somebody who's gonna. I don't care if they're better or not because I want somebody who's gonna play. Kiwior is probably not better than Tierney, but he's probably more likely gonna play Kiwior than Tierney. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody who's going to come in and contribute. Definitely.
Yeah.
Stan, forward or striker, or does it matter?
Well, you asked if we can win without bringing in a striker, and I've seen the last 2 seasons with the 3 that we have, and we've not been able to do it for 2 seasons. So I don't see why it would change this season. They've had 2 bites of the apple, those 3, and it hasn't been enough. So I think it needs to be freshened up. Ideally, it will be Eddie that goes, and someone else comes in to give Jesus and Havertz competition, not to come in and just be a 3rd place striker. Someone that's going to come in and be meaningful.
Are we seeing some variation where Martinelli could play on the right? Jesus, have we seen that yet?
I don't know. I mean, I always think that if you are going to try these things out, do it in pre-season, not on the first day.
Yeah. Going to wrestlers, even we buy an Osman or a Tony or Gyökeres, there's no guarantee they hit the ground running, and that's true. We brought Havertz in, and it took half a season to find his best fit in the team. Yeah. So Tony, we do need a forward, right? You've been banging on about this. We've all been banging on about it, but you're not the only one.
Yep, and like I said, I would stay in the Premier League. There's at least 5 Premier League strikers that you could go out and get. You just have to put up the money to get them.
Yeah, I wonder what the PSR situation is with Arsenal. I mean, we can definitely do business, but are we restricted at a certain price point?
Yeah, but
what we can do.
That's where I go back to left back. I don't think we needed to buy the Italian guy. You could striker
forward, Tony, always forward.
Striker is what you need.
Yeah,
because again, yesterday, like you said, 18 shots, 6 on target, 2 in the back of the net. That's where we screwed up and lost some points. The first half of last year is we were sitting there at 2 goals, but you should be sitting there at 4 or 5 goals because you got clear-cut chances and you just miss them.
Yeah, we need some insurance. Yeah,
that's the thing. You don't just miss them. Most of them you miss badly. That's the part that hurts.
Tony, City a better team than us? Attacking wise?
I'll be right back.
Attacking wise?
They're set up in a way where...
Are they a better attacking team than Arsenal, Tony?
Yep.
All right. They only got 11 shots off today. 5 on target. Only 11 shots taken today. It's
But
very,
based on what you say there, we had 18 and 6 on target.
yeah.
They have
Yeah.
11, 5
Yeah,
on target.
and we know we
So-
don't
so-
not
so
at their
that's better.
level, and we know we're not even at their level. So yes, we need more chances to even come close to what they do based on our thinking, right? We don't have a Haaland, we don't have a KDB in there being instrumental. We don't have a Foden, right? So I think we put ourselves in good positions to score. We do. We need better. We need more players. Yeah, we need changes and stuff like that. But I don't think there's no striker we can buy in this league that we feel is going to make the difference. We don't want to overspend. I'd rather overspend on potential than overspend on just a player who had a good year. I mean, that's why Bucharest I think is still in the mix, right? Because Solanke for that price, I don't think that's good money, bang for your buck. So, but yeah.
I'd still like to see somebody like Watkins out there.
Nobody's gonna sell us their striker, Tony. Not
2
for
weeks ago.
not for the price that they're worth. That's why if you're gonna spend the money, you got to spend it on Isak, right? Because you might as well spend 100 mil and get an Isak than spend a 60, 70 on second, third tier striker in the league.
Yeah. Gunnar Russ said we all watched City today. They were in first or second gear, one in a canter. I believe there were two similar games. If you put that Arsenal game alongside the City game, it kind of looks similar as well. Chelsea had some chances here and there. Nothing.
But I think they're on purpose on first or second gear though.
They did it on purpose, but we just found our way into first and second gear. Like we figured out how the clutch works, so we just slipped into gear, but we could only keep it in second gear. The Arsenal, but yeah,
It would be like me trying to do it with my left leg, trying to switch.
yeah.
Around.
Ray, you're not going to ask
Yes.
me that question?
Go ahead, Lawrence. Yeah, I was away. I thought you might have jumped in.
Yeah. Well, let me answer with the question. Do you think any of the strikers we've got...
Wait.
You're
Lawrence,
like Tony right
answer
now.
his question before you ask another one. Come on, dude.
No, it's allowed, Gary.
I'm seriously...
I do it all the
do
time.
you honestly
Why
think...
I don't
that
like
the
it when you
strikers
do
that-
it, Tony.
All right.
Do you think...
You're not
Do
gonna
you
stop me
think
though, Gary.
any of the strikers in our squad can get 25 goals in a season?
Oh, you just pushed it from 20 to 25 now. Let me
Because
tell you
that's
one
what you
thing,
need.
Lawrence, there's only one striker in the Premier League that's going to get 25 league goals.
Yeah, these numbers nobody scores over 20. You think about
Yeah.
it. Only 2 or 3 players do it, and usually it's Haaland, it's Salah, right? And it used to be Kane, all right? Kane's gone, so it's
You
only
need-
Salah and Haaland.
You-
So over 20 goals
You need-
by anybody in the league is asking for something that doesn't actually happen.
Sad.
Only two
You need
players in the league
a
do
fo-
it, and they're world
you
class.
need a fox. You need a fox in the box, right?
Well, that was
That's
Francis
what you-
Jeffers. That was Francis Jeffers back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he was a fox in the box.
That's
more-
who
more
Arsene
like
Wenger
a-
bought when he talked about the fox in the box. But listen, if you say 20, I will tell you Havertz could get really close to 20. He might get 18, he might get 17, he might not get 20, but he's going to get darn close to 20.
He's still out to have the most in the team.
I think
you
Havertz
can't.
and Bukayo
you
Saka.
can't-
Bukayo Saka is a player who may
Saka's
grow
gonna have-
again.
Saka's gonna
You-
have
you
over
can't-
20 if he doesn't get hurt.
You can't rely on set pieces all the time.
We won.
You've got to.
We won today. We won yesterday with 2 open play goals.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying that we're known for scoring off set pieces, and I
Well,
was
we have
watching.
added that to our repertoire in the last couple of
Right.
seasons.
And I was listening to a podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
They were saying that Arsenal rely heavily on set pieces, and
40%.
you're not going to win a league relying on set pieces only to get the quota of your goals. You need out and out striker, and you're not going to do that when you've got a manager that persists in buying defenders and goalkeepers all the time.
Man City won the Premier League with a false 9. One of their Premier Leagues they won without a recognized striker. Right? Now we're
I'm
going to
not
look at a
talking about
season. We're going to look at a season where we know Bukayo Saka will get really close to 20 goals.
Yeah, but look at the midfielders and wingers they had, right?
Who had?
That's what City. That's why.
And that's what I'm saying. They spread their goals around midfield and wingers, and that's what we've been doing the last couple of seasons.
Well, we don't get much goals from our midfielders, right?
Name a midfielder. Which midfielder are you talking about?
But Partey ain't scoring. Jorginho ain't scoring.
You're talking about number 6s. They're going to get the amount of goals that Rodri gets in a season, which is 6 or 7 goals a season. So you're right. You rely on your wingers in this. You rely on your attacking midfielders. Odegaard.
Yeah, but
Declan Rice. Havertz in situations. You're going to rely on goals from them. And we said it before. If you get 15 goals across 5 players, Tony, that's 75 goals right there.
Ray, Havertz can't play in the midfield.
No, I'm not saying he's playing midfield. He can play there. He just looks better as a number 9.
He can't play there because we don't give a goal.
So,
like I said,
listen,
Ray.
What I loved for us to go and get Gyökeres, I would love for us to go get Gyökeres and bang in 25 goals a season.
We spent 110 million on a midfielder last year.
Yep.
But our midfield looked worse. It looks better with Xhaka, which isn't. He's a vanilla bang average player.
Well, what happened was we relied on Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka left. That was our midfield from the previous season, gone. We had to start over in midfield a little bit, Tony, with Declan Rice and.
But that isn't the problem.
Jorginho.
The problem was because you fucking persisted with Havertz when he didn't fucking work there. It didn't take until Jesus got hurt. It's another one of a goddamn happy accidents that happens at least once every fucking season.
But they happen at every club, Tony. Happy accidents happen at every club.
Not as much as with us. Come on, right?
Well, just because we're Arsenal fans, we're going to see it.
Arteta has not progressed enough because happy accidents is how we end up where we're at.
We're going to see, Tony, we're going to see this season. If you're telling me Arteta has not progressed each and every year, you're lying.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. He has progressed each and every year.
Well, what did he get better at last year, right?
Collecting
the
points.
Team has a better defense. The team has a better offense. The team is playing much better together.
All of the metrics.
How much has he spent on the defense?
The team scored more goals than they've ever scored before. Ever.
Record numbers. Record
most
numbers.
Goals that they've ever scored.
It still wasn't enough goals.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right.
Yes, but you're saying he's not improving. No, you're saying he didn't win the trophy.
He's not
There's a big
improving.
difference.
It's you're getting better players. It's the players doing it. It isn't the manager.
Sure.
He doesn't have a tactic.
So he has nothing to do with that.
You see what happens. He goes up with a tactical manager. He's lost like 4 out of 5 against our former manager.
We're going to say, listen, I'm going to use Liverpool as an example. They lost Jurgen Klopp, but they have the same squad. We'll see if they get the same points as they did last season.
Emery's a better fucking manager, right?
Well, we'll find out. If Emery's a better manager, he's going to finish above Arsenal this season. if he's
If
better.
he wasn't, then we would have won the league last year because we lost 6 points against him, right?
We lost 6 points against him, granted, for sure. And we lost
And
at Fulham,
and how
and we lost at
many
West
did we,
Ham, at home to West
and
Ham.
how many did we lose against them the year before, right?
How we lost the league was right at the end of Christmas into the New Year's. That's when we
lost
lost
it
the
early
league.
against
How we
Fulham.
lost the
Lost
league
it
is
late in that
because we
December, like you said.
persisted
We lost
with
it in the
Kai
previous
Havertz
half
as
season.
the left 8. It's because Kai was at the left 8. He doesn't work there.
Gunnar Russ.
Hey, a blind man could see it. Helen Keller could figure it out.
Tactically, Arteta has improved, but his game management is still piss poor. There's going to be these. Listen, you can beat Wolverhampton Wanderers at home 2-0, no problem. But when you go to Villa Park, you better be right on the touchline, and you better be right on the pitch as well when you go to Villa Park next Saturday.
And going next week, Ray and Gary. Doesn't Jorginho give you a better chance than what Partey does? So Jorginho should have started yesterday.
So Jorginho is more solid and consistent. Partey can give you something, and that we it's just like
but
it's
a fucking coin toss, right?
Gary, you're pretty well placed to talk about Partey versus Zinchenko.
Partey versus Zinchenko?
Yeah.
That's a comparison we're trying to make right now?
Pros and cons. Tony's pushing it, not me.
Jorginho. Not
George.
Didn't I say that?
Jorginho, right?
He said Zinchenko. That's why I was a little confused.
Oh, Partey, Jorginho. Sorry.
I think Partey gives us more going forward. Zinchenko might be a little bit more solid defensively, right? But he's not. I mean, offensively, he's not the same as Partey. I think Partey has what Arteta wants. So let's just get that right. If he's healthy and he's working as he usually does on the half turn and whatnot, that's what we're looking for out of Partey, right? Arteta's gonna try and get that out of him. As I've told you, Partey cannot give us 20 games this season. I don't think he can do it. So he's going to have to manage his time, and that's why Jorginho cannot give you 20 games essentially this season. Not the way we want him to play.
No.
We've seen that. You've seen him break down.
So
between the two of them, we got one player. Okay.
You've seen him
again.
Play 7. You've seen him play 7 games with 2 or 3 days between those games, and he did perfectly fine. He was great, actually. Way better than
he was good, and I don't think he was good when he had to play midweek and play on the weekends. I don't think he was.
Yeah,
he was.
I don't think he was.
We went on a run with him.
Tony.
We switched to him, and we went on a run with him last year.
Tony, on Saturday against Aston Villa and up against Onana in midfield, who are you going with, Partey or Jorginho?
Jorginho.
A lightweight Jorginho up against Onana in midfield. I think I'd prefer to go with Partey myself. Gunnar Russ says...
But shouldn't that be Rice going against him?
Rice will be in midfield, yeah, but,
that's why we spent all the fucking money.
Lawrence.
He was supposed to be a 6.
Who are you picking at Villa Park, Partey or Jorginho?
Based on what I saw yesterday, I would say Jorginho.
Up against Onana.
Because some of the things Partey did yesterday was just incredible. I lost count the number of times he gave the ball away in dangerous areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
He was caught in possession countless times. I'm not saying his best days are past him, but I think he's coming to the end of his career.
Gunnar Russ said, I think Arteta will play Lovechild Zinchenko, and that will be the death of us. We had to play Zinchenko because he was probably the left back that was most in rhythm, had placed most games, and Arteta prefers him. in that position
You
when
could have played Kivior there, right?
when Calafiori and Timber were not quite there for a full game.
You're missing one there, right? Kivior could have played. We've seen that first half.
That's
of
a
last
crowd.
year.
That's a crowd in your box. We know that. Kiwior.
No, it's
What's his color?
See,
Red or white?
he's white, but Ray, Kivior wasn't a problem last year. He wasn't giving up goals. You go for an Italian.
He wasn't really 100% steady either. He's a better option than Zinchenko. But as we're saying right now, the situation of preseason and fitness and being in rhythm, Zinchenko's there right now. Now, on Saturday, I don't want to see Zinchenko in the starting lineup.
Well, as I said, as he walked off the pitch, that should be the last time he starts for us. If you've got Calafiori and you've got Timber,
Yep.
it looked like they should be ready. Like Timber got the last whatever minutes he
20
got
minutes.
at the end. Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully that was just to get him. He looked a little rusty. He looked a little out of control a little bit in some certain situations. A little lost his way a little time. For that one ball that he sat on the ball too long and gave it up. But I think he can recover from it more than Zinchenko can. So I think you take that risk.
Up against. They've got some dangerous wingers there, Gary, and we'll talk about it Thursday night as well.
But if the option is Zinchenko versus their wingers, Timber and maybe even Calafiori against their wingers, I'm going with not Zinchenko.
Yeah.
If that's my options.
Yes.
My options.
I'll even bring Kiwior in that situation.
If
Kiwior
is part of the then but Kiwior, was he on the bench? I didn't even know he was on the bench.
No, he didn't make it.
He wasn't even part of the bench. So
there you go. That says it all, Tony.
Yeah, it's called the manager doesn't have common sense and can't see what works.
Well said, Gary. Was Gunnar
Ray, why in the fucking hell can we never see Zinchenko as the left 8?
You know what? That's not happening. So let's move on. It's not happening.
Stay tuned in, Tony. We'll have that podcast later this season. It's coming, Tony. It's coming.
If Merino comes in,
it bewilders my fucking mind.
You'll stop saying that altogether. If Merino comes in, you stop saying that altogether because it will never happen then.
Why? Because a journeyman comes in? He's
a journeyman. It doesn't even matter who it is. It's somebody better than Zinchenko.
Who's a journeyman?
Merino is a better player than Zinchenko. I'm sorry. He's one of the better defenders in Europe.
I think he
in
might
Europe,
have...
not just in Spain, wherever he plays. Europe,
he went to Newcastle.
A top defender for what he does and what we need.
Marino went to Newcastle earlier in his career.
When's the last time Zinchenko's been good at something in Europe? Can you tell me what it is? Anything.
Me and Ray had him at midseason as a player.
No, so you can't answer. Got it. No. So he's not that good.
Yes, we did.
No.
His first season, yes, we did, Ray.
Okay. First season, definitely. Because, we went from 5th place we went from 8th to 5th in his first season.
Yeah, but he had a bit of leadership. Then he helped with overloading that left side.
Yeah.
That's why Martinelli was doing good, because it was overloaded.
All of those, Tony, are better than Zinchenko defending. Zinchenko gives people heart attacks. Yeah. This is what Mikel Arteta does to Arsenal fans. Makes us check our heart regularly with Zinchenko in the lineup. Play Zinchenko at 8, not at 3 if you need to play him. That's the old numbering system there. Alexander Zinchenko did very well, got a hockey assist, but at Villa, I'm sure it will be Calafiori or Timber. It's got to be Moss, and thanks for joining us, Moss. Moss in Banff, halfway, close to Stan the Man in Vancouver. All right, question: how do you see us lining up if and when Mourinho arrives? Marino is he the six we've been looking for?
I think I think actually Rice will play more 6.
Okay, and Marino will be the left 8.
Is my understanding is
Okay,
Moreno is really good at doing those things that
the lineup
that
is in.
Rice can play more defensive. I mean, that's where he's going to excel for us. I think when he's not box to box, and I believe that's what Moreno is, more box to box. So yeah,
So Moss has got. I don't know if Marino comes tomorrow or later today.
he's not playing
He's
against
not playing Saturday. he, we know Mikel
unless
Arteta
you
will
know
not
what,
Oh,
unless you know
put
what,
him in the
if
lineup.
it was is he related to Xhaka?
No,
If he's related to Xhaka, he'll play.
well, he's got He's got the same name as Mikel, so who knows? You know what I mean? But I would highly doubt it. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber or Calafiori, Rice. I don't think Mourinho, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Havertz as well. Marino is good in the air, as we saw in the Euros. If we got him, I think he's won a lot of duels in the air. Is the Marino thing legit or rumor? Yeah, he's coming. It's 24 to 48 hours.
Why is Saliba so bad in the air with his height?
What?
Well, why is Saliba so poor in the air?
Saliba's not poor in the air.
Yes, he is. He hardly wins any aerial. Hardly ever.
You'd have to show me some numbers on that one, but I don't believe that's the case. Indeed,
It is, right?
He's not in the Sociedad side today, so yeah, they're holding him back. That move is going to happen today or tomorrow, and finally we'll have the second piece of the summer's puzzle.
Ray,
Yep.
Ray, Saliba's only had one bad game for us, so I don't think we should be jumping on his back.
You mean this year, right?
Yeah, I'm not
You
jumping
mean
on
this
his
year,
back.
right? He's only had one bad game this year.
Tony
He's
wants to be
he's
better
had
in the
bad
air.
games. He's not perfect. I wish he was, but no, let's
No,
not go out there and say it's craziness. He's had bad games as well, even last season and the seasons before. Yeah, he's not perfect. Nobody's been perfect for this team, and nobody has been perfect for most teams. Right? Can't pick one player who's been perfect every game. I think nah. He's had bad games. You know, they get covered up because we got good players, right?
Mhm.
That's what happens a lot of times, right? You know, Timber makes that terrible play, and Raya bails him out.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, that's what good teams do.
There we
right?
go.
Saliba had a bad day,
Saliba's all right.
but
It's all right. He
Gabriel
only
and
got he
the
only
rest
got
of the
to
team
50
did
wins.
all right. Yeah.
He only got to 50 wins in 66 games. He's all right. He's not too bad. He's not great though. He's not world class, right? Saliba.
He's not better than Gabriel.
They are different people. They will give you different things. It's like comparing Martinelli to Trossard.
Yeah, but get Gabriel can sit there, being on near the back line, and find a player in the final third. Perfectly laid
Now,
back.
when you say this, I thought Gabriel was listen, Gabriel plays his game on the edge, right? But there was a couple of situations where he was a little bit rash in the first half, especially with Gabriel. Just walked that line. He had a professional foul on the sideline as well. These are the kind of things we know this partnership. Gabriel is gonna put those kind of challenges in.
Yeah, but
Walk the line.
don't you want him doing the black
Yeah.
card?
That's who he is. That's the way you're going to play. I thought he was just on the right side of officiating. So I suppose we should talk about the officials, right? It was a serious case for like sexual harassment on Jesus
Yeah, what was all that
in the
about?
second half. What was that all about? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, his arse was looking fairly pert at that moment, but I mean, contain yourself, man.
I thought
Yeah.
listening to the commentary
Well,
Yeah.
you know what they say about
scenarios
them
was
Colombians?
really funny. Not really, it's funny, but it's just like they really don't want to say anything bad about the officials, you know, in those scenarios. I mean,
I thought it was funny the way that Jesus gestured to the ref and showed him what he'd done with his hand. That was quite funny. Like he actually acted it out.
Yeah.
You know what they say? You know what they say about them Colombians? When you drop change on the sidewalk, you leave it there. You don't bend over.
I don't know what that was all about, but
Yeah.
Jesus protested, and he's the one who got the yellow card. So
Well, you know what? I mean that the referee got suckered twice. All right. I mean that player should at least got one yellow. Should have gotten at least two, should have gotten a straight red. 2 yellows. You take your choice, but it should have not been in the game anymore. I mean, stiff arming Havertz.
So,
You know what the commentary said, because I had to write it down because I was like, it was just for a second, he almost lost it.
he
But
held
then he
his
stopped.
yeah,
That's as he's falling down. What was it? Yeah,
held his
he didn't apply
composure.
any pressure. That's why it was necessary for a card.
Well, you know,
Hands
the
to the
commentators,
throat.
right?
I think the only person that can tell you that is the person who's got their hand around their throat if there's any pressure applied, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but
How does
anyone
you
else know?
don't need much
Yeah.
pressure on somebody's
Right.
neck. There's nothing here to stop you from pushing your way through and
Right,
basically putting pressure on.
right. That referee is
Yes,
a
that
Aussie
referee.
Scouser.
I mean,
An
You
Aussie
know that,
Scouser.
Gerard Gillett.
How
Yeah,
does it
Gerard
even-
Gillett.
Yeah.
He's Australian, right? And he's a Liverpool fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
how would that even stand up in
It's
court?
alright.
You'd be like, "Sir, you strangled him." Yeah, but I was breaking my fall. But you
Yeah.
strangled him. Yeah, I was breaking my fall though. His neck got in the way.
And I think we have to call out Havertz with the restraint that he displayed, his temperament.
Man couldn't breathe.
If,
You mean restraint? He's trying to breathe at that point. He probably sees his life about to go. This guy's got his hand on my throat. I
yeah,
have no. I can't at this point get him off me. Yeah.
breaking his fall. Do you think it was intentional then? Right, coming down like
Everything
this?
that guy did was intentional.
Yeah.
kidding me?
I think it was 50-50, to be honest.
It was the same
think
player,
it's-
right?
it's
You know
both
what?
incidents.
He looked at him, then he put
6
his
of
hand
one
down,
and
and he
half a dozen
straightened
of
it.
the other.
Nah.
Because if you
Nah,
see
you know
it,
what? No. You're not
Havertz
getting this one.
had his arm
Lawrence.
around him.
Nah,
before.
man. He knew
It's
exactly
6 of
what he was
one,
doing. He's
half
a
a dozen
professional
of them.
footballer. He knows exactly where
Hey.
he placed his hands. If he really wanted to
That
just brace his
intent, isn't
fall,
it?
you don't
Ga-
put it on somebody's
Gary.
head. You put it on the
Yeah.
ground.
He's not listening to you.
Listen, Gary,
Lawrence,
listen. I'm the
Yeah.
white Johnny Cochran.
No, you are. You
Listen
know
to
what?
me.
The glove fits, man. The glove
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah, the glove did fit, and
So, like Lawrence said,
was
he-
that the same player? Was that the same player
Yes,
on
both
Jesus
times.
as it was on Havertz?
Yes, both
Okay,
same player. Yes.
and he got away. He got
no
away without
yellows
a
in
yellow.
The game. The guy
Okay.
was clean, according to Lawrence. Never did a thing
He's a bit
wrong.
handsy, isn't he? This guy, very handsy.
Why are you backing the Wolves play? What is wrong with you,
They
Lawrence?
should make that guy wear mittens.
Yeah,
First it was Villa last week. Now it's Wolves.
Edward
Teams
Scissorhands.
Arsenal, Lawrence.
Like grabbing.
Arsenal. Remember the
Mr.
Arsenal
Grab
team
your
you
hands.
talking about for like the last 50, 60, 80, 100 years of
couple
your life?
Alvin gloves.
Remember that team?
I'm just saying what I saw. I was
I
6
you
of
know
one,
what?
half a dozen
You
of
didn't
the
have your
other.
glasses on. You were in the dark. You
Let's
definitely weren't
face
in the
it,
room.
He
You weren't
assaulted,
in the,
Havertz
you weren't in the
is
room
no-
when it happened. Let's just say that.
he assaulted
Let-
two
let-
players in one game. That's Chelsea Costa numbers right there. You know.
Right now, Gabriel Jesus is in the room, and the doctor's saying to him, "So, show me on the door where the man touched you."
The imprint is still there, Stan.
The man went in for a prostate exam, and then you know what? Mascara basically said I could do that too, and did it mid-game.
There's a bruise in the shape of a hand right there on his butt, on his ass.
Yeah.
Right.
No need for that. This
Lawrence
geezer,
didn't
he's
see
got
a
his hands
thing.
in your
Lawrence
arse, he's got
didn't
his
see a
hands
thing.
around your throat. I mean, what's this geezer's deal?
There's a chalk line on his ass right now.
Oh dear.
I understand that the old bill have cordoned the area off for investigation. So there's red tape around Jesus as we speak. Police do not cross the line. Police do not cross this line. Yellow tape. He assaulted 2 players in one game. That's Chelsea. Cost the numbers. Yeah, definitely. Steven said, I'm not sure I like Rice at the 6. He doesn't make enough progressive passes.
That's why I have Moreno. He doesn't have to.
That will
He's
take
purely defense.
Yeah. And look, Mikel Arteta is already planning for his namesake.
Yeah. Think about it. You offload some of the defensive responsibilities of a Erdegaard, and guess what? He can be more offensive.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I see with Rice playing in that role.
Free Odegaard.
Right now, I believe, I thought Erdegaard was our best playmaker, creator, right?
Yeah.
You saw the little pass around the back, right? To put, I think it was Havertz on was it Havertz or Saka? Remember that?
Yep.
A little round the back. Like, none of our players can do that. He can, but he's too busy doing all the other stuff, pressing up high, defending a little bit further deep. I think you put Rice in there, you got definitely coverage as far as being able to go, from touchline to touchline.
Why he has to play defense is because White's too far up the pitch.
That's the way we play, Tony. What? Do you not understand how we play?
Hey, we play.
If that's how we play, that's how we play. It's not an excuse. That's the way
I've
we play.
explained this to you 1,000 fucking times.
No,
dude.
you're not.
go.
It doesn't matter. But we don't play like Tony.
Fullbacks,
We play like Mikel.
you have
Tony.
2 attacking fullbacks. You go with 3 center backs.
You're getting written in, Tony. You keep.
No, Gary
That's the
should
way
be
we play.
getting
You got your lucky charms, but you're not lucky today, buddy. You're getting written in.
You're absolutely wrong.
Arteta, you're saying Arteta isn't asking our fullbacks to do that. Arteta, they're just going out there doing it all by themselves.
Should Odegaard be covering the defensive responsibility, or should it be White?
I think Ben White does everything he's supposed to do.
White and Saliba on that side. Yeah. White and Saliba on that side. Did he make the book yet, or he's right there on the line?
New season, new list.
You know what? I thought VAR didn't get involved
Tony and his crayons
because the official didn't throw a yellow, but it sounds like they can get involved because the header in that is it the Bournemouth game or the Brighton game? I can't remember which game it was. That was, I believe, a VAR instituted that. So I don't understand what VAR is doing. If you can put your hand on somebody's throat, and we've seen this, how many times a player put hands on their throat, something happened to them, right? The referee didn't see it, but somehow the hands on the throat ended up with somebody getting suspended, right?
Mm-hmm.
This time, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So I believe Howard Webb has come out saying there's more of a directive to let them play.
That is not playing. Putting your hand on somebody's butt isn't part of the game. Their throat, not part of the game. So try again. Which one? What else did he say?
He wants the referee to referee the game and to have minimal input.
So they're just going to let fouls happen. And so why do we need them?
Right.
If you're going to let them play, why is there a ref?
It's like, when a player presses their forehead, they don't do a headbutt. They just put their forehead on and then they push. Is that, do you know what I mean? You get done for that. And that's not like a swing, they just touch heads and then push.
Yeah.
And one will go on the floor. I mean, I would say that putting your hands around someone's throat, there's more intent there, isn't there, of what the action is. It's about the intent. It should be about the intent. And he intended to fucking strangle Kai Havertz, from what I could see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wolves are a physical game, I think, or a physical team. There's some teams in the Premier League that are going to be physical. We saw last year with Bournemouth, they're a physical team as well. When they come up against Arsenal and the better teams, that's maybe the only way they can live with us is to perform those dark arts a little bit and walk that line. Steven said Odegaard can't make the players up front.
It's not dark arts, though, is it? Dark arts is Ben White messing around with the goalkeeper at set pieces. That is basically,
it's anything that blurs the lines. Then it's anything that crosses over into shenanigans.
Is
And
what Ben White doing like constitute a red card?
no,
Okay, so it's not the same for me.
It's not the same thing. And in that instance, the VAR should always say, they shouldn't say, I think you missed something. They should just say, could you go and take a look at something on the screen, please? And not give them any, like, you might have missed
Right.
something, or just
Give
let
me a
them
hint.
look at it. And then let them go and look at it and then say, fuck, yeah, I'm going to call that, or no, I'm still not calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal misfire. I think if Merino comes in, and my understanding from everybody I heard is that he takes over a Xhaka position, and Rice goes back. So there's got to be some connection between Rice and Erdegaard and Merino. And the thing that they're gonna have to just be open for the ball, and then they're gonna have to make a play, as opposed to what Partey does. Is he's able to get that ball past the defenders nicely and put it right on a tee when he's playing good. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Can I just say that from other podcasts I've been listening to, I don't know really that much about Merino apart from the Euros and that, but from what I've been hearing, he comes in as a squad player, not as a starter in the vein of a Rice or an Odegaard. When you think of starters, he comes in as a squad player, sort of maybe in the vein of a Jorginho, where he's not going to be playing week in, week out. That's how I understood it. I might be wrong, right? I don't know very much about the player.
Might be.
So he's replacing Emery.
But he's probably one injury away from starting, right? Or one substitution away from getting on. Like Partey. Partey gets injured, has a suspension, or needs to come off. Then maybe Moreno is coming on. I would like to say that we need, if we're going to establish a number 6 and a number 8 hierarchy, then those players need to learn that position. You can't blur the lines between a 6 and an 8, which I think Arsenal do, and maybe Arteta intentionally wants that to happen. Where I want Rice to know whether he's going to be a 6 or an 8, and that's sometimes where he can be put at peril by not knowing what position he's playing. Does that make sense? There we go. Howard Webb needs to understand that his officials are not officiating games; they're influencing the outcomes of the games by ignoring what's going on happening on the pitch. A little bit like what Stan said. There's sort of a committee where they're almost forming an opinion for the referee before the referee even gets to it. I think I saw a clip, whether it was true or not, of a referee looking at the VAR at Goodison Park, and it didn't show any actual footage of the incident, just showed the Premier League logo, and he walked away with a decision without seeing any footage. That's what it looked like to me anyway. Not sure though.
I read a directive from the PGMOL that says that they're clamping down on referees who support a team, that they cannot referee any of the games of the
That's
team
like
that
the
they
dumbest
follow.
thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life.
Chelsea played Man City, and it was refereed by Anthony Taylor, who's a Manchester season ticket holder.
And he goes.
I still think that's a stupid thing, because how are you going to find one person or a group of people in England who all can do a job as an official, that for 20 years of your life you've been supporting a team? That's why you can't get a job and be professional about it. It's all about whether or not they make people accountable for their job, right? Because the same thing can be said about, guess what? If you have a Manchester United and Manchester City person working in a company, guess what? They're not going to be professional about it, and it's going to cause problems. No, they have to be professional about it and do their job. If you don't make people accountable for their job, it doesn't matter who they support. If they don't do a good job, that's the key thing, not who they support, right?
So Gary, yeah. So let's say you follow an NFL team,
Yes.
and
He
it's
does.
refereed by someone who's a fan of the team that your NFL team are playing, and he gives some controversial decisions against your team. Are you going to question the integrity
I'm going to do
of
it
that
from a
official?
fan, but as a PGMOL or a referee association, those players their employees have to be professional, and that's the thing that everybody gets lost in. It gets lost in the sauce, right? They're all thinking about who they actually support. Are they actually doing their job? One, if they're not doing their job, then that's where, guess what? Then they don't keep their job. It's that simple. You have to be able to
You can't have that. You
be a
can't have
little
that
bit,
in the
like I said,
Premier League.
accountable. If you think it's that bad, then it's corruption. Then, if you think
I
it's
think
that
there
bad,
is a rule.
then
though.
it's corruption, and then they can't do their job, right?
I think there is a rule. Maybe it is unwritten, but referees are supposed to disclose the team that they support, and it is supposed to be noted.
Yeah.
Whether they do anything with that, whether they don't, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. None of you guys think they should be professional about their job and actually do it, regardless
well,
of who.
No
You know?
different to a judge,
Yeah.
or a policeman, or whatever, right? A politician.
You can't
Yeah.
do your job because guess what? You're a little jaded and biased. Then you're in the wrong profession. All right.
Well, Lawrence is he's on to something because
does
you know.
happen, that, doesn't
So
it?
you think
And-
it's okay?
But it
No,
does
it's not
happen.
okay.
So then
Anthony Taylor.
that's-
Anthony Taylor's going to go back and forth to Dubai and take games in Saudi League as well, and
That shouldn't
you
be
know,
allowed.
and they didn't look at seriously enough. There was a couple of penalty incidents, Man City and Chelsea today. I'm not saying there was stone cold penalties, but they didn't look at them close enough for me. It was a very, very quick decision, and maybe that's the way they want to implement VAR now, to keep the game flowing and to not be as high profile. Howard Webb does not want to be on TV as much with Michael Owen anymore.
But that's why they have 12 iPhones doing offsides this season.
12 cameras,
12 iPhones.
12 iPhones. Okay. And semi-automated offside will be coming in October. So we're going to have a couple months of this season where we have to deal with linesmen and referees. One of the games today, the City
like
game.
I said, that's what they're using, right?
Yeah.
They're
It
using
was 2 minutes to play
iPhone
after
14.
an offside decision, which was pretty clear cut. Anyway, Lawrence.
There was an incident in the other game, Brentford against Crystal Palace, when Eze scored direct from a free kick.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant free kick
It was.
from about 35 yards. And the referee blew up because he saw an incident between a Brentford player and a Palace player
A foul,
that he thought was a foul. And
Yeah.
he later, and I've just read on the BBC website, he said he made a mistake.
Well,
He
I
said he
think
should have let that go.
yeah, I think the free kick wasn't what happened in the penalty box didn't interfere with the free kick, first of all, but I also think there was a foul in the box as well. You know, so yeah, they're gonna as long as they don't
I'm
affect
happy
those
how
games.
things turned out in that game.
What's that?
So I'm happy how things turned out in that game.
We'll see if you last the whole season, Tony. We'll see if you stay.
You're gonna be happy with every referee.
Well,
in
it
the
depends.
confines of the
It
rules,
depends
Tony.
when you try to fuck me
Huh?
over, right?
Within the confines of the rules.
Within the rules,
The
Tony.
reigning king,
Yes,
I'm watching you.
yes. He has a lead. He has a lead.
First game of the season.
First game of the season, Tony. You don't win it in the first, but you can lose it. You don't win it in the first week.
Cool, but can you imagine Tony in 38 weeks' time when it comes to the crunch? Jesus.
No, he'll crumble. He'll crumble under the pressure, right, Tony?
I'm still waiting for my
Yeah.
coronation.
What's that?
So I'm still waiting for my coronation.
Okay, let's put a video together.
Season's already started now.
Yes. All right. So Tony's in a slight lead in the upset challenge. He's quite happy this week, but I've still got Tottenham. Hopefully, Tottenham are disappointed tomorrow. You know what I mean? Listen, let's talk about the 2 goals real quick. Stan, a beautiful goal from Kai Havertz, a great cross from Saka on the right-hand side with his left foot. It was almost as if we'd worked on this in the training ground.
Yeah, that was a very good pass from Saka. Literally, as the saying goes, he put it on the plate there. You've got to be very good to do that, as well as he did that. The speed, the whip he got on that ball, and then for Havertz, obviously, to steer it in. Very good. That's what you want to see.
You had Thomas Partey in front of Saka. You had Gabriel Magalhaes behind Saka. So really depended on the flight of the ball and where it was going to land. Havertz, I mean. But yeah, the goalkeeper was enticed to come off of his line, and the great header from Kai Havertz to score the first goal.
Yeah, he's good with his head.
Yeah, he is. He might score a few with his head. What do you think, Gary?
Well, if you noticed a lot in the preseason, we've been putting a nice amount and really crisp crosses in. Saka's had a couple opportunities in some of the preseason, so we've been looking like we just keep changing how we're gonna beat teams, right? Last season, Lawrence thought it was all about the set pieces. This season, it might be the crosses that we're putting in because they've been looking really good. We've had we had at least 3 crosses come in this game. Saka wasn't able to get over one, and Havertz was, right. So I think we're just good. As I've always said, take what the defense gives you, right? Just punish them whatever they're gonna give you an opening every time. You got to just take it. And it sounds like, you know what, if your aerial defense is not good, we will beat you there. So yeah, no, it was really nice, and the way it's set up, and he just was able to run in there clean and just put his head on it and put it away. Very nice. So yeah.
The kind of cross that one makes the keeper think he's going to come and get it as well. Keeper's off his line.
Yeah.
Havertz makes a great connection.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the way the ball went in, it was going to end up in the net. Those type of crosses are a nightmare for goalkeepers because they don't know whether to come and get the ball or stay on the line. And Sarr was caught nowhere. He was caught in no man's land. Good finish by Havertz. But then again, any striker should be able to put a chance like that away.
Little caveat there at the end.
He's not going to come. He's going to bring it each time. Right, Lawrence?
Stevie Wonder could have put that chance away.
There you go.
Jesus could have put that away. He closes his eyes sometimes when he heads. Is that it?
I thought I'd get a Hackney Marshes reference. That's what I thought I'd get.
We didn't get one of those. What's up, Lawrence? It's slipping on us, man.
They had to play Arsenal fan circle bingo.
Start the season. Give it a couple of weeks.
We gotta play bingo. I gotta figure out a game how to play bingo one of these days. Tony, what do you think? Kai Havertz, will he hit 20 this season, Tony?
He'll be close to it. You still have a question if we go out and get anybody. I don't think we probably do. So he'll be pushing that, but I still think Saka will outscore him. I think Saka will pass for 20. Not sure. Guy will be hugging it. But
it'll be close to it. It'll be interesting. I think Trossard gets a run in the team. Trossard will score some amount of goals as well, but we're looking at probably Kai Havertz and Saka to be the main providers. And we are obviously looking at Marinelli and Jesus this season to up their game as well.
Yeah.
If they would get above 10 goals in each one, that would be nice as well.
It'd be nice to see Odegaard back up there again scoring. That's gonna be just
Yeah.
delicious.
Listen, if they all start firing, it's going to be a hell of a season, and we could be pushing, six and sevens, for wins as well. We could be scoring that amount of goals, like we did this past spring. Bukayo Saka, we just run out of superlatives for Bukayo Saka. Provided the cross for Havertz, and the game waned on. We go in 1-0 at halftime. We go about 20-25 minutes in the second half. We are all nervous as Arsenal fans because the repercussions of dropping any points against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the first game of the season, knowing the other games that are coming, are pretty big. So to settle the nerves, you really need your talisman to step forward, Gary. And Bukayo Saka was that player who settled the nerves and scored the second goal for us on the close to the 70th minute, right? 74 minutes.
Yep. In the 70s. Yeah, no.
He's only 22 as well. He's crazy. This is Michael.
Yeah,
You
and
get to see his best
but
years.
he's got people try to compare him to other players in his situation, and none of them are asked to lead like he is. Right? He's asked to lead. And all these other players are, they're just adding on to the pile that they already got. So, and he's been performing. So yeah, no. Saka does. Like I said, I'm hoping he hits that 20 goal mark, but he's improved every year. But with the extra Champions League games, who knows if I can see him probably staying. Numbers maybe improving a little bit, but he's going to have to perform. And we need to win. We need to win trophies. So he's going to be needed. He's going to be hopefully needed to score in, in Champions Leagues and some of these cup games. Hopefully, There's a question I have. I don't know if we have time for this, but it was talking about Saka and whether or not he's a moment's player. He comes in, he answers the call when needed by Arsenal. I heard a discussion about it, and I think he is. I just think he's one of a few in the team. I think him and Trossard are those types of players. I think we need more. When people compare him to other teams, or players from other teams, there's always maybe 3 or 4 players that are these moment players that answer the call when needed. It's just Saka and Trossard for me right now, and I think we need more. I don't know what you guys think about that, but is Saka a moments player, and is he the reason? Is he the reason why we struggled last season because he didn't show up in moments?
Yeah, what do you think, Stan? Is he a moments player?
I don't think so. I think he's the trait that he's got that I like the most is he's consistent. He's consistently good for me. He reminds me a lot of Salah in that way. Salah's very consistent. It doesn't matter whether he's playing a team that's just come up into the league or whether it's one of the big heads. They always will be able to perform and give you something. And for a lot of players that have come through, I've gone on to be stars. You think of people like Gareth Bale, you think of people like Cristiano Ronaldo, who went on to be, world stars. He's doing it at a very young age, consistently before they were, in my eyes, and from the eye test, I haven't got the stats up, but it seems to be more consistent with his numbers. I mean, you compare his numbers to say to someone like a Pedro Neto, he's streets ahead. It's not even close. Not even close. And Pedro Neto is a few years older than him. Yeah, he's had some injuries, but if you look at it over the seasons, he's doing it so consistently from such a young age. And I mean, we could have a real gem on our hands if that continues. Every season, he's going to get you at least 17 goals. And then there's going to be a handful of assists in there as well, maybe 11 assists. You can't replace that.
I'm looking at his stats right now for the last 3 years. 3 years ago, and they're all pretty much about the same amount of games. 3 years ago, 11 goals and 7 assists, so 18 goal involvements. The next year, 14 goals and 11 assists, so he's increased year on year. And last year, 16 goals and 9 assists. So he's gone from 18 goal involvements to 25, and then again last season 25 again also. So we're looking for him maybe to push to that
Champions
30.
League games and cup games and anything else. That's just the
Well,
league.
yeah, these are just Premier League games. Yeah, so he's hit 16 last season.
He can't keep pushing 4,000 minutes a season.
No, but what he can do is become better with the minutes that he has. Maybe even less minutes, Tony. Maybe he'll get less minutes this season, but be more efficient and more effective.
But like scoring at the 74th minute, to me, he should have been off at the 60th minute.
What?
He should have been off at the 60th.
Yeah, but that's not on him to score every goal, right? Havertz could have had a brace within 60 minutes. All right?
You're saying you would have taken him off after 60 minutes, Tony.
Yeah. He was gassed.
And then what happens if Raya doesn't get his hand on that ball that comes in late in the game?
Yeah.
You drop points like you did against Fulham, right? Because you couldn't hold on to a 1-goal lead.
And Liverpool had Mo Salah. Liverpool had Mo Salah sealing the points yesterday. Today, it was Haaland who scores. So you need your big players to step forward and score in these situations. This is my company, goddammit. I don't know what that's in reference to, but
I do, Vince McMahon.
I like the Braveheart one where the Irish guy says, "It's my island."
Yeah, Stephen.
Ireland, it's my island. Had to get that one in. But yeah,
because he kept saying island, didn't he? At first, like the first couple of times.
I just love the way he drives away. He reminds me of the old guy from Breaking Bad. He just needs a bell on that thing,
Salamanca.
Right. But Little Britain.
Lawrence, what's that?
Do you remember the comedy show Little Britain?
Yeah, I do actually.
The guy in the wheelchair. That's what Tony was.
Oh my God. So tell me about Bukayo Saka and that goal. What I really liked about this one is that usually Bukayo Saka wants to curl out into the far side of the goal, but he blasts it near post here. But also he takes that second touch on the ball to clear Aït-Nouri, who is actually a pretty decent defender. So, Bukayo Saka showing his quality there yesterday, Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's part of several players who can cut in from the left and cause havoc.
Yeah.
It seems to be the end thing now. Every team has a player out wide on the right who can cut in. I mean, when he first broke into the team, he used to partner Emil Smith-Rowe on the left, and the two of them were absolutely lethal for us. But Arteta switched him over to the right and played him in the position Nicolas Pepe used to play for us. And he's just gone from success to success.
Mm-hmm. Stephen said Saka has to play minutes. We cannot afford to have him hobbling around the pitch like last season. There was a moment where he took a left-footed shot in the first half, and his supporting knee, his right knee, got twisted up a little bit. I have to say I feared for the worst at the time. Now, every player is going to get injured when Bukayo Saka, I hope he doesn't get injured, but if he is injured and he's out for a number of games, unfairly, I think people will blame Mikel Arteta unfairly.
How is it unfair when he doesn't substitute him off?
Because I can get injured stepping outside my front door. I can get injured in my bathroom.
Yeah, but
that's me, right? Bukayo Saka could get injured.
Right.
Putting his shoe on.
If they're stepping out your back door 5 times or 50 times, if they're doing it 50 times, then you're going to have a hell of a lot more chance of hurting yourself. So if you're playing over 90 minutes a game.
I'm just telling you, if Saka gets injured, we're going to hear an uproar from the Arsenal fan base.
Yeah, and it should, because he doesn't manage his minutes correctly. He actually should have been playing yesterday.
We need Tony. We're going to need Declan Rice, and we're going to need Bukayo Saka in the next 3 or 4 games, especially.
That's the point. You're not need him. You didn't need him yesterday.
Right. I mean, you could have taken him off after 60 minutes, but I mean that's what happened, right? Stan, what's your take on if Saka gets injured, the Arsenal universe will go into shit fit. Do you know what I mean?
Well, some players, they're kind of irreplaceable, but I also worry if Martin Odegaard is ever out for a long period of time, how that hole is going to be filled.
Yeah.
So that's another question that's always niggling at the back of my mind, because we've been quite lucky with Odegaard when it comes to his fitness and injuries. But as you just said, you're only one injury away, and he could be out for 2 months. Who fills in that space?
Yeah. And we have what we think could be potentially world-class players: Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, maybe Declan Rice. There's players that are kind of. They will be replaced if they get injured. There are players who can take their place, and that's what a squad is all about. But we would hear the Arsenal brethren go crazy about it. You know what I mean? Michael said,
right.
Yeah.
To me, you have to criticize him. He shouldn't play in every cup game. He plays in every cup game. He shouldn't be playing in the League Cup. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. And this season is a season where we have to go and get trophies as well. Michael said, I read a comment on Football Terrace. Somebody super chatted, can't believe Jesus got a yellow card for protecting himself. That's the Premier League, and that's the officiating at Premier League level. Nobody actually saw that. I mean, do you think they're going to be like, I think you need to go check that on the monitor and actually see what happens. You know what I mean? To Jared Gillett there. A couple more questions, then we'll get out of here. What about Odegaard? There's no one in the league doing the through ball passes that he's doing. It's Kevin De Bruyne or Ozil-esque, says Michael.
Yeah, it's because I asked them to do a through ball, and they finally started doing the through ball.
I know. You got a hotline to Mikel Arteta, it seems. You know what I mean? All right, so Gary, the Tony Dunwan man of the match, who are you giving it to?
Well, for me, it could be between Havertz or Saka. I'm gonna give it to Saka.
Yeah.
But it could even go to Raya as well, because he saved us as well. So, but I'm gonna go with Saka.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Saka as well. The assist is chef's kiss for Havertz, and the goal is a stunning goal from outside the box. A little bit of Saka's trademark. Stan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Saka as well for exactly those reasons. Couldn't put it any better.
Could be a clean slate here. Lawrence, Tony's going to be different, right?
Oh, yeah, he's going to pick Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Oh, really?
Lawrence, who's your man of the match?
I've got to say Raya for those 2 saves.
Wow, look at that. Lawrence, I commend you. You have, and we know that you're a Ramsdale guy, but you recognize a goalkeeper of some repute when you give it to Raya as well, and you give.
Well, as I said, Ray, if it hadn't been from those 2 saves, we'd be moaning that we got a point when we should have got 3.
True.
You've got to give the man credit.
True. And when we are not 100%, you're going to need your goalkeeper to help you in certain situations as well. All right, 3 for Saka, 1 for Raya. Tony, here we go.
I think it's kind of a coin flip because I always pick the player that does the things to win the game. So you could say Saka won the game, but you could also say Raya won the game.
All right,
But
What
based
arguments?
on the goal,
Bukayo
I'll go with
Saka.
Saka.
Bukayo Saka. It's been decided.
Tony,
Probably
welcome to
the
the
first
majority.
of
It's nice to
many.
have you. Really nice to have
What's
you here.
that, Stan?
I said, Tony,
Huh?
welcome to the majority. It's really nice to have you. Finally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come over.
It's not that scary, is it?
I think I called him out, and that's why he didn't go there, Stan. I called him out.
It's nice and warm. We got snacks. It's all good.
Okay.
No,
Miss-
we're usually not too far apart.
Michael missed the start of the stream. Did we talk about Tony? We did not, but we're going to have a quick word about Ivan Toney. I would not be disappointed if Arsenal were in for Ivan Toney even now, because he would be sitting on the bench in place of Eddie Nketiah, and that would increase our quality up front. But I feel like he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. That's the rumors, right?
Really?
It's still,
right. That's what they said. That's what they said on the telly. He's gone to Saudi Arabia.
he's going to be going. It's not done yet, Lawrence. He hasn't got the shirt. You're the one who won't believe it until you see it. And now Lawrence just did a full 180.
I'm just saying what Rebecca Lowe said on the telly.
Hey, even she can be wrong sometimes, okay?
Yeah.
No, but thanks, Lawrence. Listen, where do we stand on this one? Gary? Ivan Toney?
Yeah, no, I think any attacker that we bring in will be a plus because, as I've said, we don't need the passengers. So Ivan Toney brings us something different. I mean, we've seen Havertz in the air. We've seen Toney in the air. I think that he brings a little bit more, probably for me, what I feel like a little bit more physicality when he's on than Havertz. So
yeah,
I think we could do with some of that. And as you said, we don't have to start anybody we bring in. That's the good thing. But if they can come in and they can take a spot, all the better. All right. People have already said, why bring in players that sit on the bench? Well, at some point you have to, right? But if they can come in and they can steal a spot because they worked hard for it and all of that, we'll take it, right? So, yeah. I would take a Toney. I think Toney. If he brings in Toney, I'm assuming he's going to play him, right? It's like we're okay to keep Nketiah, but we won't play him. I don't like that either. So
I think he will raise the levels as well, and he would be as height-wise similar to Havertz. What's the bookies look like in Saudi Arabia? And that's maybe a reason why he would go to Saudi Arabia. He would not be encouraged to gamble there at all. Stan, Ivan Toney, I've been sweet on him, and that's cooled a little bit, but I'd still take him as an impact sub.
Ray moves on quickly.
For me, I think there's other players in that position that I'd rather see coming in ahead of Ivan Toney.
Yeah, and that's probably where we're at. You know what I mean? We're probably not that interested in Ivan Toney. And one thing I like about Arsenal as well, it's the attitude of the player that we take. It's the temperament of the player that we take into account as well. And maybe he's not the right one for us. He could have a good kickabout with the boys in the sand. He could tweet that one later this season. Good kickabout with the boys in the sand. We remember that one as Arsenal fans. Rami and Kivior could sell still. Tony, we're going to get Tony's opinion on Toney.
I mean, he's good enough. If you're signing, you're win the league. But I'm like with Stan. To me, they're better players in the league that you can go after. But he's clinical. He's physical. He's good in the air. he has the qualities you needed. Because like for 2 or 3 years, like Gary and you, we would discuss what forward we always needed, and I always said a big guy with the presence. To me, you just needed somebody like Giroud with that size. But to me, yeah, Tony's a win you a league if you spend the money. So you're good either way, but I would probably look elsewhere. But
Okay.
if that's more money you're willing to spend, then
Okay. There's still going to be life left in this window still. I think it goes another 12 or some days, but we'll leave it there. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Stan, Gary, Lawrence, Tony, and all of you in the chat box. You're the ones who make this thing happen. So we'll see what happens. On Thursday, we'll be talking about Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Great to get a win yesterday, and we're off and running in the league. The Premier League is here. We can't rely on the officials to be any different than they were last season. You're just asking for two different outcomes, right? From Howard Webb. Okay, we're out of here. Take care, everyone.
It just seems like they don't want as many stoppages as they had, because last year we had so many of those games that were going 100 minutes. And I think they're just really trying to cut down on that. I think that's why they're going with the 12 iPhones to do the offsides.
All right, guys, thanks. I left the backstage pass if anyone wants to drop by, and we'll see you Thursday night otherwise, okay? Thanks. Take care.